Hello, my friends. Today we are going to we're gonna play Aquilia. These guys, the bird French. So Aquilia's lore is basically the discrete family. This guy's family has been in power has existed for around 900 years. Basically, we were relatively well. We weren't a relatively small. We were a pretty decent sized duchy in the first Griffonian Empire. But when the first emperor died, we declared independence one day after the coronation of Grover II. Uh, Him and his imperial army burnt down half the city. The king was deposed, sent to the emperor, and the emperor promptly beat him to death. But eventually, when the empire did finally fall apart, we gained our independence and are now presiding over a somewhat fractured realm, as we had a democratic revolution, which was eventually put down by fellow monarchists. So that leaves us with this, a somewhat fractured kingdom, and well, a pretty big mess of a continent. So, we get to choose fight for my freedom or the second reign of terror. So this I go down being a republic and, a disgusting harmonist, or we shall forge the Aquilian Empire as it is always meant to be. Either way, we'll have to deal with the Aquilian Revolution. I'll go over that once the focus is actually unlocked for it, which will be when this focus is over. So yeah, I'll explain that in just a second. Oh, I should also say we start with Memories of the Republic. So we have negative 25% political power, negative 40% recruitable population. Enemy spies are better against us, and we have negative 25% stability. That's not good. Oh, and the legacy of Colbert? Colbert? What? 10% consumer goods, minus 10% production, efficiency cap and growth, and minus 5% factory output. That's not good. So we're a little paralyzed at the start of the game. As you can see, there's now a thing for the Second Aquilian Revolution. We need to frantically race as quickly as possible to get each of these numbers above 50 to allow for our glorious monarchism to stay in power without any kind of rebellion. So to do this, we will need to secure Westkeep and Rial. These two. To do that, we have several focuses down here. This entire branch is for securing Rial, and then these two are for securing Westkeep. So I'm just going to run down these, and then I'm just going to go down these to get Westkeep and Rial loyal, and if we can do that, we should hopefully be able to prevent the revolution. I'll give you more details as soon as this focus is done, because it'll, allow me to actually, start aiding the monarchists. Alright, so I've just completed the focus, and now you can see that we can manage the revolution in Rial. So I'm going to just go through these to increase monarchist support by 2%, while also running through the focuses. I will do the same for Westkeep, and hopefully, by doing this, we should be able to stop the Republicans from rising up against our glorious monarchist ruler. Hopefully. Okay, I was unable to prevent the revolution, so in just a second here... these guys should raise up, I think. Ah, yes. The worst has come to pass. Despite all our efforts, the revolutionaries have risen up against the crown. Armed militias are in the streets, garrisons have been bombed, and the royal palace itself was assaulted by a force of disloyal soldiers. The revolutionaries' first attack was beaten back by the valiant royal guard. But now, the nation is aflame, as chaos reigns everywhere. We must rally our forces and strike back at these traitors before they have a chance to achieve their goals. We shall crush them once again. Alright, so just Westkeep. We should be able to win this pretty easily. So yeah, I'm just gonna kick the revolutionaries' ass. I'm just snaking my men around them. We outnumber them approximately, yeah, 34 to, they have 7 divisions at most, we have 34, so they're just getting crushed here. And yeah, they're about to die. Just need to, take this real quick, and, there we are. There goes the Second Aquilian Revolution. Very easy. I'm just gonna take all this territory real quick. Alright, and the revolution is done. I took the territories I said I would, and now we can actually start by going down to kill an idea. We might just get an event in a second here, so let's, yeah, here we are. The streets run red with the blood of traitors and patriots alike. But, as the dust settles, we stand triumphant. The revolutionaries came at us with as great force as during the first revolution. But unlike then, we did not fail, or we did not fall apart. Instead, we have held the line and let them break themselves upon us. Aquilian royal banners fly high and victorious today. Long live the king. Yep, now these are all core states. Yep. With the surrender of the last Republican forces, the second unsuccessful revolution in Aquileia comes to an end. Many griffins died in the struggle, but to no avail. The supporters of the king have disarmed the revolutionary armies and captured many leaders of the republic. It is expected that, just like with the first Aquilian Republic, a reign of terror will now begin to purge the last remnants of republicanism in Aquileia. Hang the traitors. Terrible news from the royal palace. During one of His Majesty's baths, a servant snuck into his quarters and stabbed him. While the servant was swiftly apprehended by the royal guards, it was too late to save His Majesty. At 1600, His Most Honorable Majesty, King oh, fuck, I can't read French. Morset Discreet passed away, even as the doctors did all they could. All of Clay is in shock from this terrible event, having thought that the revolution was over, and yet those damned rebels managed to split the nation with their last breaths. The one small comfort available for us is in this dark time, is Princess. Why did I have to play Aquila? Vivala? Vivala? Whom all thought would be paralyzed by grief. Instead, she appears before the gathered court that very evening, being crowned Queen Vina Discreet of Aquileia. I'm gonna throw that into Google Translate so I don't butcher the pronunciation for the rest of this video. Okay, her name is pronounced Vivian, apparently. I'm gonna trust Google Translate. Listen, I never claimed to be skilled at English. Or French. I despise the French. So, anyway, we now have Vivian Discreet, the new Queen of Aquileia. Alright, it's time to integrate the Loyalists. Last time I played Aquileia, everyone accepted except these guys, so we're just gonna, prepare for any incident. Just in case. Okay, luckily for us, everyone accepted peaceful integration. So we have now unified the Aquilian starting territories, and well, we have all of Griffonia to look over now. Well, as soon as we're done getting through all this, around here is when we start conquering. I'm gonna go through some of our industry first, though. Get the economy nice and, alive. Also, I don't expect Griffonia will be this. I don't expect Griffonia will be much of a threat this playthrough, as they've gone with Gabriella. And while in my last video we did great things with Gabriella, if the Strawberry Duchy and the yeah, it looks like the Strawberry Duchy and the Grand Duchy of Festria will reject her offer to be integrated, so it's likely the Empire will simply crumble or just not reach the necessary power levels to oppose me. Hopefully, anyway. We'll see. In a splendid ceremony in the royal capital, Her Majesty rewarded over 100 members of the MPA, all of which had distinguished themselves during the rebellion. Of these, 5 members were ennobled, and 12 were given the Order of Merit for their services. Holding a glowing speech praising these heroes, the Queen stated that she felt she could rest easy as long as valiant patriots like the MPA remained in the nation. They truly do deserve their reward. Ponies all over Aquileia were sitting by the radio for the speech that had been promised, listening with bated breath when, over the ether, the Queen's voice came. Good afternoon, citizens of Aquileia. I address you this day to speak of loyalty. Many of us hold the notion that loyalty is something that stays in the species and the outsiders, wherever they come from, cannot be part of this loyal bond. I say to you, people of Aquileia, that this has proven itself utterly false, not once, but twice in our nation. Our noble pony subjects have twice been among the most fierce and brave protectors of the nation that any monarch could wish for. My father knew their strength, and, in recent months, so have I come to know it. Where griffins marched in the streets seeking to overthrow their rightful king, the ponies remained loyal, nay, nay, to the last stallion. I am proud to declare that for these many services, today shall be known as the Day of the Faithful, the day where we remember that loyalty and duty and duty is not born in feathers or a beak, but in words and in actions. No matter where one comes from, my faithful ponies, today Aquileia thanks you. A thanks to their years of loyalty. Alright, time for a bit of war. We're going after these guys, and then I also have a war goal on these. And there are a few decisions I can take to, I believe, steal some territory from these guys. I might have to take these two nations over first, though. So I'm going to do that. Ooh, the Burgundy Order, loyalists to the discrete dynasty in Terrain. I'm not going to even try. They're not going to exist for any longer. Secretly contacted the Crown's government some time ago asking for support. This was granted to them, which allowed them to expand their operations and prepare for the coup against the illegitimate Republican government in Terror. Thankfully, the revolutionaries did not crack down on the underground movement, allowing them to operate mostly um, unanimously, unopposed. Now, the monarchists have launched a daring coup, oh Jesus Christ, I can't speak, seizing control of the capital, as well as several border crossings. Aquilian detachments were already prepared in advance to cross the border, and with the support of the Loyalist cause. Now, most of the country has swiftly been secured, with thousands of Republican rebels arrested. Unfortunately, some of them have fled into hiding or abroad. Nevertheless, the area once again belongs to us. Nice. I didn't even hit the button to do that. That was just that was some good luck right there. Don't mind if I do. Okay, this is gonna be a bit of a risky move, but this focus allows me to declare war on these these four nations. And from what I can tell, these guys only have like 3 divisions. These guys have 5. These guys have 6 to 22, but were recently in a civil war. And these guys have 4 to 10. So if I just quickly blitz through here, I should be able to, you know, then force my way into this nation, knock it down pretty quickly, and then just consolidate Central Griffonia really quickly under my rule. It's a bit risky, but I think we can do it. I also have another 10 divisions that are almost done training. So I'm gonna try and do that. Hopefully it'll work out. Alright, the motorists have broken through. I'm just gonna snake around and take all their victory points. I've almost got them through the power of snaking. I've taken almost every victory point. Um, Ooh, they took Eagleton back. That's not good. And there we go. We might as well have won. It's not just these guys, and we can crush them easily with superior numbers. And there we are. We have done it. We have conquered a good amount of Griffonia now. Oh yeah, and like I said, the Griffonian Empire is falling apart. Okay, now that I have conquered all of this land and the Empire is actively collapsing, I would attack them now, but I can't attack them until 10:13. It's currently 10:10. So I'm just going to go down my military and industrial focuses for the next like 3 years and probably over prepare. I'm gonna try and get an Air Force and a decent tank corps up. Hopefully. I'm gonna focus mainly on an Air Force, but if I can get a tank corps up, I'm definitely that would definitely be good if I could do that as well. We'll see. Okay, the Aquilian March. Once upon a time, the Kingdom of Aquilia stretched over a much larger area than it controlled just a few years ago, called yeah, no, I'm not gonna try. The Pri, we're just gonna call it the Pri. It fitted into what Iridensists in Aquilia have called the natural borders of the realm. The Aquilian government has announced that, as of today, the, that the nation has reclaimed her rightful borders, and they will be integrated into Aquilia itself as soon as possible with all necessary and proper speed. Though protests have come in from the leaders of nations that formerly occupied those lands, little sign is shown of the Aquilian government giving them up. At the deadline for this paper, little more than token protests had been logged by the nations of the world. The eagle spreads its wings. Okay, it is finally 10:13. It's been like 2 years, which is, unsurprising, but still. We can finally go for the final showdown. And as you can see, the Grifonian Empire is not doing that good right now. They went after Yale and the Holy Caterin Council, and they have just they've not been doing good. They're at all adults serve right now. Let's see how many men they've actually lost. They've lost about 1 million men. Well, I've just been sitting around and building up my forces. I've gotta modernize my artillery. I got tanks. I have AAM production. I also have an air force, which is about 1,800 planes strong. Not bad at all. And a 12 division strong tank corps. They only have howitzers though, so I'm not sure how good they'll be because I know the Empire tends to get some tanks. But considering the state of chaos they're in right now, I don't really know if their tank corps was ever built up. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll check in on you, or I'll check in once we declare war on all these guys. As you can see though, I've also expanded the army to over 102 infantry divisions in this field marshal alone. This one has another 20, and yeah, we're gonna go after them, and hopefully we'll win. And all right, here we go. Let's see how our tanks perform. Good, they perform well, or at least they're fast. Let me just get this to an actual front line real quick. I'm probably just gonna have my tanks blitz through. Yeah, it looks like they're doing pretty good. Ooh, yeah, they are melting the enemy divisions. Yep, here we go. And there we are. That's Griffin March done. Yeah, I'm not gonna even try and take their land in that peace deal. But the Empire should just crumble very fast with our tanks encroaching on it. You know what? They have a very thin front. They're just gonna launch an infantry offensive. And it's all green bubbles. Love to see it. We are. Oh god, they're just getting torn through like it's nothing. Ooh, let's cut Roma off. Yeah, there we are. We've encircled Roma. There goes Roma. God, it's so quick too. Yeah, I don't have a chance of taking it. I'm just gonna let them take their territory. This definitely does feel good though. We're melting them. They got nothing on us, man. Absolutely nothing. Even with the Panzers being more spread out, it doesn't really matter. They're just getting melted so fast. Come on. Drive to Griffinheim. Let's tank there. You guys too, come on. Oh, dang it. Stop getting pushed back, come on. Nice! There's Griffinheim. Unfortunately, we don't get the full Griffinheim event because someone else already took it prior to this, but whatever. I'm only slightly sad about that. Ooh, you have a tank over here, actually. Let's just let's just tank the Rotterdam now. Oof, those river crossings are slow. And I believe that should be the end of the Empire. Oh, no, not yet. Oh, okay, I'll take volunteers in my offensive war. Don't mind if I do. Thank you, Harmonic Nation. You're very good. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna mop this up. As you saw, they got nothing on us. Like these guys might put up some resistance, but once I actually, kill the Empire and these guys, I can just concentrate and destroy them. So I'll check in with you once we are done conquering the Empire. All right, we've taken over the Empire now, so now I can proclaim the Empire's defeat. And once this is done, oh God, there's more French. No, no, please, please spare me. Okay, listen, you're gonna have to give me a pass on all the French. I've said this before, but I'm just not gonna even try. Vivian strode slowly and proudly down the red carpet toward her throne. Cheer Curse you, game! You've made me look up 15 words. I'm not gonna do a second take for this one. Chevalier flowers, I'm gonna assume, line the carpet on both sides, letting her pass under an arch of their swords. Oh, these are knights. Um, okay. Context clues or whatever. Their swords. As behind them hundreds of nobles stood, their claws filled the air with applause, along with the triumphant anthem played by the orchestra. Reaching the throne, she stepped up towards it and turned her around, face uh, facing the crowd. She saw the politicians and nobles that had advised and aided her since the very start, the generals who carried her armies to victory, the heroes who had fought the revolutionaries under her father, all those who had been part in her rise to power were present. And she smiled. My subjects, loyal servants of Aquileia, today a new era dawns over our fair nation, an era unrivaled in all of history. No longer shall we ever bow to any foreign monarch, nor shall we share in the glory that is ours by right. Or, yes, those who presume to challenge us lie broken, and the world knows of our power, that she has resounded through the throne room, as the prelate of Aquileia uh, came came up to her, holding a red pillow with a crown on it. It was not the royal Aquilian crown, though. This crown was bigger than it was. This crown was bigger than it was, and it was massive, and its masterful craftsman or craftsmanship. Okay, listen, you're blaming me. You can't even blame me for that. That's a made-up word. Um, made it seem wholly made from gems, with only slender threads of gold dancing around them to hold them up in place. Taking the crown, Vivian slowly placed the crown on her head. No longer was she merely the Queen of Aquileia, she was its empress. No longer was her family overshadowed by the Grovers. They stood victorious over them, and claimed a position as their equals. As she stood triumphant, Charles, oh, for frick's sake, Charles Gilliman, or Gilliman? Yeah, I'm just gonna say Gilliman. I played too much 40k. Fridlin, her distant relative, stood up from a seat in front of her, proudly declaring, "Citizens of Aquileia, your new empress." With the declaration, planes flew overhead and cannons fired blanks from behind her. It was if only her father could see her now. At the front row, General Shako, Jesus, I hate names, raised her hoof in the air, yelling out, "Viva Imperia, viva Equidia?" She did not cry alone for long, as the entire crowd the joined in to shake the throne room with their cries. Why? Why does whenever I win, I get stupid debuffs and negative 30% stability and war support? I think that's a new portrait. I think her outfit's different. Um, Here we are. Now, we get to go down this and, prepare and deal with the Hazelland Blues, or Hazelland, and, dealing with everything. Also, if I remember right, I need to find, yeah, a spouse for an empress. You get to, we get to play, Griffin dating sim. Not really though, you just hit a decision and get like a small bonus. How nice. Um, Either way, I'm just going to probably deal with the Hazelland Blues or Hazelland Blues because they are, oof, they are hurting us right now. Jesus. So I'm gonna go down this, work on acquiring our dear, dear allies or our dear, dear enemies. Like Skyfall. They need to be taken over. So anyway, gonna go down this and we're gonna deal with you know integrating all of this into the Empire of Equestria. And there's the Grand Principality of the Hazardland. Um, I don't know if they have cores. It doesn't look like it, but I'm not sure. They might. I'm not sure. Either way. So yeah, I'm just gonna go down that, and I'll update you when anything interesting happens. A barony for the Grovers, some 300,000 inhabitants, in a region dominated by lush forests, one major mining town, and an estate overlooking the Grifkin River. It was no wonder that the Grovers had named this region King's Realm and kept it as their personal summer retreat. Yet the region was largely underdeveloped, and it had little in way of actual wealth. Natural beauty did not produce taxes. All in all, it was a perfect last stop for her family's greatest rival. There was an unspoken rule among all those of higher birth, and that was that you did not kill your fellow noble. To lift your claw against them set a bad precedent, and Vivian was not going to ignore that rule. Even when it came to the Grovers, thankfully, the last Grover was still an impressionable child, and, with the right upbringing, he'd not be a threat to her rule. The name changed for the realm. It was a simple matter, Groverward. It sounded rural, almost quaint. It was not the name that inspired respect. Baron Grover of Groverward, would obviously need to stay at his estate under heavy guard, as these were dangerous times. That would mean he could not build the kind of contacts among the nobility that would make him dangerous. In the end, he'd sadly be little more than a country bumpkin of a noble within a few influential friends, and only a glorious past to his name. Signing the document, Vivian made it official. There was pleasure he could indulge in over there. The woods were calming, and the nature was beautiful. Perhaps he would develop a passion for painting or writing. Whatever he does, he is out of Her Majesty's hair. Alright, now I have to go through the equilianization of all these different areas. So I just gotta hit this, lose political power and stability for a little bit, and I believe once we hit phase 3, I'll get cores. So I'm gonna do this and take the stability hits. I'm also starting to, get through this. As soon as we can get everything up to stage 2, we'll be able to, get rid of some of Hazelland Blues, since it is, it's not good. The levels of power. Laborers and machines were swarming all around the palace, like an army of ants, just as how they had done for years. At this point, and Vivian mused to herself how quiet they were these days. For a while the sounds of construction could be near deafening at times, but nowadays, as they were finishing their efforts at the edge of the palace, it was so quiet in comparison. From her position at the balcony, She could look over the entirety of the palace, entertaining herself with trying to note exactly where the new extensions to it being, er, the new extensions to it began, and which were the old ones. It was hard to spot, and she felt a sense of approval towards the efforts of her subjects to ensure that nobody could tell where the royal residence ended and the administrative building started. It was all as it should be. The throne and the government was one and the same after all. Thousands, if not tens of thousands, were already hard at work inside the new offices, and whatever happened throughout the entirety of her realm, she would be able to act upon. She would be able to act on it personally, if need be. No information would ever be hidden away in some regional administration center to fester. Instead, Aquilia, and thus she, would truly be the beating heart of the nation as well as all the information that flowed to it. All decisions were taken her and iota of or her blah, blah. All decisions were taken here, and every iota of power available emanated from it. It was Aquilia's right, her right, and she smiled as she watched it come to fruition. A true century for an empire. How tragic. The Griffonian Republic declared war on my puppets. Well, I suppose they're about to learn what our tanks can do, so, God. I do love a well-made Panzer Corps. Really does. Make the game a lot more fun. Okay, now I get to choose who to marry. Unfortunately, I don't see anyone with the same last name here, so this is going to be a very illegitimate marriage, but, so be it. Um, hmm. Oh yeah, we've also been doing quite well in the Griffonian Republic. They have lost, 500,000 men. It's going well. So anyway, we get to choose who we want to marry. Hmm. Um, hmm. I think we'll go with this guy for the political power. Ooh, the war support could be good though. Yeah, we'll go with you. Alright. It delights me to realize how true the rumors were, even after the fact, said, amused, I'm not gonna try with the names, prancing down the hall to keep pace with her griffin spouse. You should have seen the look of utter astonishment on their faces when I told them of your proposal. They can make whatever expressions they might like about such a thing, Vivian replied, as long as I am privy to them before any other creature. Of course, Vivian, the mayor replied. She knew all she knew all about mang, eh, managing information, of course, from her day in the idol, from rallying the monarchists of Jesus, through her social events, from uncovering the hidden Republicans in their midst. If you must know, I'm already having some of my contacts look into your candidates for imperial independence. I must say, some of what they've uncovered so far is quite surprising. I am sure, said Vivian, adding a helping of nonchalance to her impression tone. You are a quick student in the royal. You, God, English. You are a quick student in the role of consort. Amuse, is this something you have anticipated? For once, amuse, but carefully crafted personal flattery. Well, she said, a little flustered, her ears reddening. I have always admired your majesty, your pose and grace are quite magnificent, and I have always dreamt of working alongside you, but I will be honest, this proximity is not what I expected. Vivian nodded calmly. That suits me well. Now, I'm up for a bit of a side endeavor if you wish. We might take a gander at father's old collection. Perhaps you might find something of use up there. Amuse Butcher beamed. I would be most delighted. Anything any Griff could ask from a partner, really. Alright, we're married, this is the same person I married last time in the playthrough. I plan to choose someone else. Uh, Either way, yeah! Why do I always end up having some kind of cross-species relationships in my stupid game about horses? Ah, and there we are. We have dealt with the traitorous Republican scum. And with this, we have now annexed them. Let's see what puppets we can get. I believe we should have a new puppet for them, right? Yeah. Form a united Northern Griffin state. I just gotta wait for this to load. Takes a minute. There we are. The Grand Duchy of Cladberry. I wish we had unique leader portraits. The King Maurice Memorial Park. 4 large gates led into the park, one from each cardinal direction, and the white cobblestone paths that ran through them continued on through the groves of trees, across and down the gentle sloping hills, along the softly babbled creeks, and around the great flower beds. All of it led to all of it led a large cliff in the middle of where an artificial waterfall 10 meters down to the land, in a small lake, where lotus flowers and water lilies gently bobbled on the surface and willowed trees reached down over it. The the hustle and bustle of the city outside seemed to fade away, and all that was left was peace. The centerpiece of the garden was the massive bronze statue that stood by the lake, proudly facing the main road leading down into the small valley. It was sculpted to be a perfect likeness of the late King Maurice. Due to the ever fine details, the old king's famous confidence was on full display, down to the crown at a jaunted angle and the casual ease with which he stood, the cocky smile that was so familiar to all those who had met him. Few had known him like Vivian had, and she had to admit to herself that she could not have imagined a better result. Standing still to let the cameras capture her looking upon up at her father, she pondered whether she should make sure to give the artist a special reward, but in the end she chose against it. Turning round to face them, she began the little speech she had prepared. When my father died, he died a hero that had twice over had saved his country from anarchy. In various ways, his entire life was colored by this struggle, and he never got to rest under the trees he painted for the future, or he planted for the future generations. I could have commissioned a battleship in his honor, but instead, I wish to let him be surrounded by tranquility. Like, I hope that we all will, one day. For now, though, this park will stand as a testament to my father's legacy, the sacrifices that he made for the kingdom, and his right to rest in peace. Hopefully the people will stop thinking I killed my father now. Wait a minute. Did she? I mean, it said like a random servant stabbed him, but maybe she did. I mean, it's never stated that she didn't. It's also never stated that she did, but it's kind of a weird thing to reference. Yeah, I guess conspiracy theorists do be a bit crazy. Okay, so I went to invade Griffinstone, and turns out Wingberry was guaranteeing them, so we're with them now. We should be able to do this. I'm not too scared of them. Our Air Force, yeah, we're winning the war in the sky. Oh my god. 17 to 2 casualties. That's very good. Our planes are demolishing them in the skies. And our tanks are tearing through them on the ground right now. So they shouldn't be long for this world. Alright, I've encircled this portion of their line. And that's a good number of volunteers from other nations there as well, so that's gonna hurt. Over here, it's not the best, but I'm not too concerned about this. I'm more concerned about, you know, breaking Wingberg's army. Alright, I got another juicy pocket right here. Oof, that's not gonna feel good for them. Let's see how many men this was. That was probably around 150,000, since a good number of them got overrun. So that's gotta hurt. Yeah, their army's down by like 50 divisions. Oof. Their front hasn't collapsed, but they're being spread thin, and our tanks are just cutting through them. You know, just like butter. And we rule the skies, just completely over the entire war region. So they are not long for this world. And there we are. That is the fall of Wingberg's capital, and they have 35 to 61 divisions left, and they're actually about to capitulate. Let's just capitulate them right now. In fact, I can just probably snake some of my tanks to their last victory points. Go, Panzer, go! We've won. There we are. So now we're just gonna annex all of this, and then we're gonna see what puppet states we can make. And let that just be done. Alright, what puppet states can we make now that that's over? We can unite their territory, and we can just transfer all of this territory over to our other puppet, which we will do. And there we are, the Confederation of the Lake, Ruma, is now pretty big. The Christian? I'm just gonna go with Wingbergy. The Wingbergy puppet is looking pretty good, and we have conquered about half of the continent. Also, we killed like 20 equestrian tank divisions in that war. Or at least I think they're equestrian. It looks like the equestrian flag. So yeah, now we just gotta conquer. Ooh, Hellquills is actually doing pretty good under Elder von Windenburg. I think this is like Griffin Hitler, right? I don't know. I know there's like a character that's a direct parallel to Hitler, but I don't remember who they are. I'll look it up, and then we'll play them sometime. We also have to play Hellquill. I wanted to do a video on Hellquill, but I tried playing them and I lost pretty badly too. So I mean, I've also tried to do a video on Aquilia before, but I lost that time. This time though, we're doing much better, and yeah. Oh yeah, the Griffonian Republic is also over here now, which is quite funny. We'll deal with them in just a little bit. But yeah, we've conquered half of Griffonia so far, and just a little more to go. Most of it's under either the East Griffin Treaty Organization, also known as the River Republic, or the River Federation, I should say, or the EV, or these guys, these states, which are, well, these four are in alliance. The rest of these are all independent, and then we have the Dread League, which I don't know what I'm gonna do for the thumbnail yet. I don't think I'm just gonna do a screenshot of all our lands. I think I'm gonna, you know, have like that well, you know what? You'll see the thumbnail. You've already seen it by now, so what am I joking? Now I'm ranting. See, kids, this is why you don't record late at night. You get into rants, and now editing me is gonna have to probably cut this up, or more realistically, just go, fuck it, it's fine. It's good enough. We'll see though. We'll see. Okay. Sorry if I sound a little congested for the next bit of this video. I've been sick the last week, so yeah, and I want to finish recording this because knowing my luck, the mod will update and make the save completely incompatible soon. So I'd rather that not happen because I already have like 5 hours of work put into this. So you know, actually I can check exactly how many hours of work I have put into this. Let me just 4 hours. I have 4 hours. So you know, I'd prefer not to lose that. So sorry if I sound congested. I think I sound fine, and I sound a lot better than I did yesterday, so hopefully we're good. Okay, so I designed this main battle tank. I have no idea if this is good. I normally just don't go off of mediums or medium tanks. Sorry, my voice died there. Like I said, I've been sick for a little bit, so my apologies. But yeah, I don't know if this is good. It goes like 13 kilometers an hour. That's fast. Um, I think it deals like 6 less soft attack than my current tanks, but it deals like an extra 20 hard attack. And I do know that people like the River Federation do have a decent armored core. It's also expensive as high hell, but I have 200 factories and literally am struggling to figure out what to put my factories on, so high production cost is not a problem. Okay, time for one of our last major wars for a little bit. Well, I mean, I guess Hellquill will be a bit of a major war, but we're currently invading these guys, and why they don't look too scary, they have these guys and these guys as puppets. So they might be a little hard to kill. I don't know. They don't look to have that big of an army. And I'm also working on doubling the size of our tank corps. But I really don't see any of these guys being a challenge to me. The River Federation will be our last problem. And even then, Hellquill has done way better than they normally do. And they've gone their you know, Nazi path. You know, I tried to do this path. I probably already said it once before, but it's been like a week, so but yeah, I tried to do this path and I just got my ass kicked. The River Federation attacked me before I was ready, and I just got beaten into nothing. It was very sad and depressing to watch. And with that focus, we no longer have Hazerland Blues. Thank the gods. Um, this invasion's going pretty well despite the red arrows, or the red bubbles. This finally came online supply-wise, so we should just roll through them now. I would like to state as I'm invading Hellhole, I'm listening to the Super Earth National Anthem. Remember, Helldivers, go to Super Earth, defend it, the squids are attacking it. I can't, I gotta conquer Graphonia, and I gotta update the game. Okay, listen, it's not my fault the patch was like 25 gigabytes. That takes like 5 hours for me to update, but do your part. And there goes Hellquill. That war probably lasted like less than a month. They just died. Like their heartland is all plains, and they don't have tanks, so might just roll over them. Anyway, time for a new puppet. Okay, so I just encircled a large pocket of enemy forces. Oh yeah, also turns out these guys were allied with had this kind of alliance. So I just called in the Hellquill Protectorate. So it's not that bad. Okay, so the enemy army, it's encircled. um, so yeah, this is probably around 500,000 people. Okay, so that pocket was 458,000 people, 6,000 tanks. Oh my god. Huh, and there we are. They're finally dead. Oh my god, the border guard's awful. I gotta deal with these guys. I can just turn some of this over. Oh god, it's awful. How can I? There I are. That's a puppet. Yeah. Okay, the border guard is bad, but it still ain't great. Oh, I lost a good number of infantry and one tank division in that war. I got a little sloppy, not gonna lie. And with this, our medium tanks will mostly be modern tanks now. I couldn't quite afford the to convert all of them. I only have a seven yeah 7,000 or sorry 8,000 medium battle or sorry main battle tanks. Jesus. But yeah, these are also all going to be mechanized now. So soft attack has gone down a little bit by come on 18. It would have gone down more, but the mechanized have higher soft attack than the motorized did. Also, this is a far more a hard division. God, that sounds so wrong to say. The division is much more hard. God, this is gonna be so bad taken out of context. Yeah, they're falling apart quite fast. And our tanks move at light speed. Alright, now there's significantly less border going. This looks better. Um, how fast are the tanks? The tanks go at no, they still go at the same speed. 1 second, let me just. I'll take whatever penalties it is. Ah, we can afford it now. They'll go at 12 kilometers an hour. That's good. All right, next up we're invading the River Federation. I'm gonna wait for my additional 100 infantry divisions. Invading the River Federation is annoying because one, they actually build a pretty decent army, and two, look at the terrain. Over here it's like all hills. Like over here it's like forest and plains, which ain't that bad. But like this area is just hills and mountains. And that is incredibly painful when it comes to invading with tanks. Alright, I'm just gonna go invade the River Federation. I could put it off for these extra divisions, but they're not really gonna help that much. The basic war plan is grab my tanks, punch them all the way up to here or here, around here, cut this entire section of the front off and just kill it, which should hopefully wipe out like half their army, and then just use that momentum to crush the rest of their nation. I've also modernized the Air Force. Not many changes, but these now have tier 3 cannons, and these now just have better bombs, Nothing that special, but it'll give us a slight advantage. Alright, here we go. Oh, they're hitting us. Go tanks. Alright, they're hitting us pretty hard, but we're holding. They've lost 50,000 already. And we are pushing north at a good rate. They have about as many divisions as I do. And they've already lost 200,000. How much manpower? Oh, no, don't do that. How much manpower do they have? They have 112,000 in reserve at scraping the barrel. Yeah, no, they're gonna run out of manpower very quickly. I also do my best with spies, so hopefully, hopefully we'll have good intel. That should help us, I think. I'm not entirely sure how spies work, so you know, hopefully it'll help. If it doesn't, whatever. Okay, I think I'm gonna compromise. Since we're having some progress, but it's slow up here, I think I'm gonna change my tanks to focus over here and just ram over to here, and it'll encircle like the entirety of their mechanized core, or a good portion of it, hopefully. And there we are. We've encircled a good amount of their tanks. That will not feel nice when we take all this out. And there we are. The River Federation has fallen. Alright, now all I gotta do is invade these guys, and these changelings. Disgusting, communist changelings. And with that, all of Griffonia is mine. Just gotta annex it, and steal their navy, of course. I always steal navies. Mainly so I don't have to build my own. All they wanted was love. Yeah, no. Transfer that, and the crown of Aquilia reigns over all of Griffonia. Time to do the final focus and read the event. After all, it is the closure to a grand tale of conquest. Alright, this is gonna be a long read. Oh god, I'm reading this at 12:40 in the morning. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so tired. I thought it said 1:30 in the morning just a second before this. It really is just 12:40. One second. Am I losing it? I'm losing it. Okay. So the Empress of Aquilia and all of Griffonia. The imperial palace near Aquilia lay silent as the night slowly passed over the city. Ponies and griffins were still milling around not far from the palace in the city, even as the palace had gone silent, mostly silent. The lone exception, a single griffin wandering the couloirs of her personal apartments. It had been several long years from ascension to the throne to then uniting the principes. It felt like millennia ago to her. So many victories, and they were only the first of many. Over overseeing the old kingdom rising from the ashes of the failed revolution, to then becoming the envy of the world, being crowned Queen Regent of Aquileia, and then later Empress. She looked out of the painted windows. Painted? Painted windows? I don't know. Noticing the park, and in the distance, the city of Aquileia. By a long, it had grown by a long shot since she had entered the world, boosting, boasting of monuments and boulevards. She had overseen those as well as possible, even as the conquest of the empire had taken over more and more of her time. A row of portraits. Woe to the vanquished. She passed over one portrait, and looked up at the griffin portrayed on the oiled canvas. Crown on his head, idle laborious in one claw, and sword in the other. She scoffed. Grove the first. He left his work unfinished. Another portrait just to the left of the first emperor. Grover the second, in full armor and armor. At this she too scoffed. She waged war for a reason, not for petty revenge, and his conquest of Aquileia barely lasted a century. She pondered what they were thinking now. Did they think she was greater than them? Or did they curse her for destroying their bloodline? She parked the train of thought as she passed their successors, the griffin surrounded by paper and with a Spencer? I have no idea. At that she scoffed again. His stable empire couldn't even survive his two successors. And then the fourth emperor. At that she scoffed once more. She was divisive, and he was weak. She was decisive. I'm sorry, I'm losing it. And he was weak, and unable to come, Jesus, and unable to come to a conclusion. She didn't even bother to look at the last two. The less said of them and their ministers, the better. It's good to be Empress. And that's it. Aquileia has conquered all of Griffonia. Alright, for the thumbnail, I'm going to, cheat in having, this puppet annex, New Maryland, and having, this puppet annex the Dread League. Because, while I could go to war with Equestria, I don't want to. Because, I've been here for 2 hours, and it's 12:44 a.m. Um, and I physically can't go to war with the Dread League, which makes it just annoys me very much because it's like I should be able to go to war with these guys. Just because they're undead doesn't mean I can't say I declare war and then bomb the shit out of them. It doesn't make sense. So either way, I'm gonna cheat that in off camera. And oh yeah, a couple of things. So as I said earlier, I've been sick for the last week, so this video has been delayed by about a week, maybe two. It's nothing major. I just got the common cold. But playing Hearts of Iron 4 with the common cold, it's not very fun. And then commentating with a voice that sounded like a dying frog? No, no, I'm sorry. I'll spare your ears that assault. My microphone already ain't that good. But yeah. So there's the oh yeah, and for 100 subscribers, I'll do the My Little Pony Smasher Pass. And for 2,500 subscribers, far, far off in the distant future, I'll do a face reveal. The most expensive face reveal in YouTube history, in fact. Yeah, it's probably going to cost close to $4,000. You might be wondering why it would cost $4,000, and to that I say, eh, it's better if you don't know. The prices, I've looked into prices, it's very high for certain items, let's say. Also, that might go up since, tariffs. Tariffs are fun, man. I love having to pay more money. So fun. Oh yeah, I also have a Twitter and a Blue Sky account. I'll probably put them in the channel description, I want to say. I'm not sure though. All I really do on there is shitpost, so if you want to see me do dumb things or just post dumb things, it's it's just shitposting. It's I mean, why does anyone have a Twitter if not the shitpost? Like if you're a normal person and you're not, like far right, then being on Twitter it's just for, looking at shitposts and shitposting. Blue Sky, I don't know. I haven't been on there long enough to really get a profile of it. Actually, what am I talking about? I joined both of them the same day because I'm not gonna lie. Turned on Twitter, looked at it, went, "Holy shit, this is far worse than I expected." It was just a far right cesspool, man. Like I swear. Like listen, Biden tweeted, like talking about his cancer, him having cancer, and I'm not gonna lie. One of the top fucking comments was, "Yeah, that's what karma gets you." It's like, dude, seriously. I don't care whether you like Biden as a president or not. I think you should at least be like, yeah, I wish you the best of luck with cancer, because that's a big thing, man. It's like, I'd give Trump the same respect if he got cancer. I'd just be like, I wish you the best, man. Good luck. But, yeah, sorry for the, brief ramble about Twitter. It annoyed me pretty deeply. Um, also, I'll be, well, yeah, the ship hosts are just, like, doing dumb things, Cattail 2028. Vote for me to be the greatest candidate in American history. Listen, guys, if we can get like even a single media source to talk about it, I don't give a crap how small of a local news source, but that would be hilarious if we could actually get something like that on TV. I do not have a big enough audience for that, but that would be really funny. I can see it now on Fox News. Brony Furry urges people to vote for fictional furry dictator on the far left. God, that would be hilarious. That is my dream. It might not be this election cycle. It might not be next. But if I can get some of this shit by 2036, I'll do it. Assuming the world hasn't nuked itself into utter oblivion. Um, probably will though. But if it doesn't, that would be funny. Um, anyway, grand ambitions aside, oh yeah, I have a DeviantArt account. I've been doing some doodles. I probably won't put that in the channel link because I don't really care to. I'm lazy. But yeah, that's about all. So yeah, I guess I'll see you next time. I suppose. I hope. Like, hit that subscribe button or whatever if you made it this far. Oh yeah, and if you've seen any of my content before, my loyal subscribers, you'll probably notice that this was a good bit different from my regular videos. They're normally a bit more focused on the wars with time lapses around them, but this was focused more around the story. Since I respect the writers, I write a fan fiction, so a shitty fan fiction of that, but still, it's something. So I do respect the writers. I do wish we had a little more for the end of the Aquilian focus tree because I don't know. I'd like a little more. I'm sorry. I just like seeing the entire world under my faction or under my banner in general. It just makes me happy. So yeah, if you like this more story-focused approach, let me know in the comments because I'm open to doing either. The time lapses has its benefits and drawbacks. Like for example, I use a DaVinci Resolve to edit since it's free, and I ain't got 20 bucks to give to like Adobe for Adobe Premiere, however much it is. I don't think it's like 20 bucks. I think it's like 10 or something. I don't know. I'm not paying for it. because this probably ain't ever gonna make me any money. That's why the face reveal will be at 25 or 2,500 subscribers, because by then this channel will hopefully have made me some money to hopefully partially cover it. Oh, and I should also state that I'll do the face reveal after we hit 25 or um 2,500 subscribers, and when I'm in a financially stable situation to do so. And I don't know when that will be because again, economy's a mess right now, so economic stability and combine that with housing prices where I live being utterly absurd. So that's a pleasure. Um, that's about all. Oh yeah, I'll go into the drawbacks a bit more now, since I kind of drifted away from that back into politics. God damn it! If you can't tell, I talk to my family members who are quite political quite often. We often get into heated debates, but yeah. Some of the drawbacks of doing time lapses is that using DaVinci Resolve, it lags horribly when trying to do time lapses, which means checking them on DaVinci Resolve is very hard. I'm sure there's a way I could fix it, but I don't know how. So, if you know how to fix that, please, please, please leave an answer in the comments. I'm not even trying to, farm engagement here. I'm just genuinely that would really help. Um, but so that's a minor issue. I can just, see how it is by just privately posting the video on YouTube and, making sure it's all good. Um, the uh, the positives of time lapses are that I just, play the game. I don't have to commentate. I don't really have to talk about the what's going on or the story. It's just kind of military conquest after military conquest. The um the drawback with the more story focused is that of course I have to read a bit more. And if you can't tell, I stutter a lot when reading, and I often get words wrong. I'll probably edit most times that I did not get a word correct out of this video, but just know there were many, and I opened Google Translate several times. I've also probably pronounced Vivian's name differently across this entire video because not gonna lie, I threw her name to Google Translate, and the English accent says Vivian, but I turned it to French and it pronounced it Vivian. So I'm assuming Vivian is more correct. It sounds slightly more feminine, so I'm guessing that's correct. But I honestly don't know. I don't speak French. I've also, I'm not gonna even try to pronounce any of these cities. Like I can pronounce Aquilia, Rila, and Prida or Priga, but the rest of these gone though. But yeah, again with but yeah, I have to read everything, so I mispronounce things quite often. Um, I also, can't really do time lapses if I'm reading everything because I gotta, just, cutting out a time lapse every like 5 minutes too, or like every 30 seconds to, tell you what's happening story-wise would be rather jarring, to say the least. So I gotta kind of update you a bit more, like mid-conquest, and I don't know how good I am at that, so that could use some improvement. And my God, this rant's going to be longer than the rest of the damn video. Oh well. Man, for real this time, I hope you have a good day. See you next time. Um, yeah. Peace. Peace. Actually, no, no world peace. That would be very unprofitable. Bye.